Bob. Some of you knew him as Mac. But no matter what you called him, I think we can all agree he was a pretty terrific human being.
Yes, he was.
The love of my life. We had 32 wonderful years together. There were some hard times, of course, but there were two things constant through it all, and that was our love for each other and our commitment to one another. They never wavered. He supported me in everything I wanted to do, no matter how many times I wanted to adopt just one more dog, rescue just one more stray kitten, no matter how big a fortune I wanted to spend, no matter how big a fortune I wanted to spend on running gear or race entry fees. He always said, "Whatever you want, sweetie, go." And I was going to try and get through this without breaking down, but I'm not sure I can. He also always told me that when he died, he didn't want a funeral where everyone was crying and sad. He wanted a party where everyone was celebrating the happy times and the good times. So that's what we're doing here today. We're going to celebrate his life and the part that we all played in it. So thank you again for being here, and I'm going to turn the floor over now to our kids so they can share some of their thoughts and memories of their dad.
All right, so I'll do my best. I have my time. So again, thank y'all for coming. I know Bob loved it. He does love it. So I met Bob when I was 9, and he was the one guy. Not that my mom dated a lot of guys before Bob, but there was two that I remember that I wish Tom was here because we could tell some stories. We gave these guys the hardest time just so they would leave. So with Bob, we didn't. One, because he scared us, but we loved him. He was a good man. He was a selfless man. He would have given anything for anybody in this room.
He would have.
And I think we all know that. One of my favorite things that Bob and I did in the last 5 years of his life was every Monday, almost like clockwork. We might have missed 3 or 4 in 5 years. He and I would just run a couple errands together for an hour and a half. We run some errands and we talk, just me and him. And it was talk about nothing. War, he'd have something to say or I'd have something to say, but it was just me and him. There was nobody else around, and I cherish that. And every Monday, today included when I woke up this morning, I wanted that hour with my dad, but he's always here. One funny story, and then I'll turn it over to whoever wants to go next. Kind of like we were talking a minute ago about how Bob came racing in his chaps when I was in the hospital. Well, New Year's Day 2020, I'm dog sitting for a friend of mine, and we're doing our normal walk, and Bob had met this dog several times, and she loved him, of course. So my 2 dogs and this little tiny 10-pound dog, we're doing our walk, and that little dog decides to jump after a squirrel, but she only moves 3 legs. So one leg gets stuck in the dirt, and it just snaps. I've got the x-ray if anybody wants to see it. It's a gruesome picture. Anyway, so I gather myself, and I get the dogs, and I'm holding this one, and I get him inside, and I'm freaking out. So what do when I freak out? I call my dad. 42 years old, I still call my dad. What does Bob do? He puts everything aside. He's in the movie theater with Riley and my mom, and he just tells them, I gotta go. And he was at my house in probably 3 or 4 minutes, which should have taken 15. So we get the dog settled, we get in the little, the Volkswagen, and he takes me to the vet. New Year's Day, 2:30 in the afternoon with his granddaughter in town to visit. All he was thinking about was taking care of somebody that needed his help. And we're going, I looked at the speedometer, we're going 84 miles an hour down Skilton to get to the vet. And I told him, I said, Bob, you can slow down. No, I can't. No, I can't. But it wasn't for the dog, it was for me. And he sat at that vet's office with me for 3 hours until my friend showed up. And I'll never forget that. That's just kind of that's the man Bob was. You needed something, he was there. And that's really all that there is to say about him. A great man. When my grandfather passed, he became my best friend in the world. And I miss him every day. So.
That was great, Chuck.
Well, I can talk in front of a group of kids real easy, but not adults. So I'm just going to tell my quick story. My favorite memory of us is when Dad came to work with me at Camp Summit. It's a camp for children and adults with disabilities, and he worked with me. One Sunday we did a day at camp, and it was amazing to share that with him. That was one of those memories that I'll never forget, and I'm keeping it short and sweet. Or yeah, that's what you get for me.
This is fun. I'm gonna stare at you. Alright. I brought my gear. See how it goes. Yeah, first of all, if you have it here, raise real quick. Happy birthday. For those of you who don't know, today is Dad's 71st birthday. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Cheers. I know most of you, I think, or know of you. For those that don't know me or know of me, my name is Sean. I am Bob, Mac, Chewy, whatever other name you have, Dad's youngest son. Dad and I had an interesting relationship. Real quick, this is Jack. Hey, buddy. This is my son, Jack. Can you say hi? Hi. He likes to be on stage. Dad and I had an interesting relationship over the years. We both found times where we were super busy and times where we had a lot of time together. And one of the things that you've heard so far, and is absolutely true, is he would do anything for anybody at any time. One of the jobs that I have right now, I own a t-shirt printing business, and I also help run a baseball organization. And within the baseball organization, my title that's been given to me is the Director of Communications. And so within that, I try to think of myself as a decent speaker. And so in order to get up today and be prepared, I practiced my speech and went over it and realized when I was done that it was like 45 minutes long. And I don't think you guys want to sit here for 45 minutes and listen to me. So a couple of quick stories, just because they're fun and kind of remind me of my dad. When Dad would come pick us up, one of our favorite things we would do is we would go to Trader's Village. We'd spend the day at Trader's Village, and he would give Carrie and myself, sometimes Chuck, and he would come with us like $10, $15, and say, hey, whatever you want, it's your money, you buy, you're good to go. And so in this one trip, I wanted a cross necklace of all things. That's all I wanted while we were out there. No baseball cards, none of that. And so we find this cross necklace, and I wear it, and I go to school, and the teacher decides to come take a look at it and realize that if you unfolded the cross necklace, it was a pocket knife. And that was my dad. He loved knives and guns and all that stuff, so that was just kind of his deal. I get a little bit older and started driving and realized that I had a lead foot when I drove. And I think that equated to 15, 18, 19, 20 speeding tickets before I was 17 years old.
Wow.
And so the city of DeSoto that I grew up in, the judge decided he wanted to see me. And so Dad decided he was going to go visit the judge with me that day. And so we get there, and the judge is telling me how I'm just a terrible child, that I'm going to just lead this life of crime. And Dad, to my defense, stood up and he yelled at the judge in the middle of the courtroom. And was like, I think he's figured it out, like, let him be. And so I kept waiting for the TV moment where they hold you in contempt and take you away. But the judge was super lenient, said, all right, you guys can go. And so that was one of the first times I remember where he was probably a little bit more defiant than he should have been. I think that's where I get a lot of it from. So then I grew up, moved on to Lubbock, Texas Tech. And Dad, I found out a little bit later in life that he was unbelievably proud of me being a Red Raider. his cars, if you guys ever remember his Volkswagen, there was 1.5 million magnets on that car. And my favorite one on there, it just said Texas Tech Dad. And so I loved seeing that one all the time. And while I was in Lubbock, I joined a fraternity, and we were able to have alumni be initiated. So as long as you'd never been in a fraternity, you could come and be initiated as an alumni. So he came and decided that he wanted to be initiated into Delta Chi, the fraternity that I was in. Well, if you've ever been in a fraternity, after you get initiated, there's a party that night. And Dad decided that he was going to show me how to handle a bottle of Goldschlager. And so we had a great time. We partied like crazy. He was supposed to leave at 9 a.m. the next morning to drive back to Dallas. And I woke up on the couch at about 11. I looked down the hallway. The door was open. The light was on. I thought, man, I guess I missed Dad leaving. And I went down the hallway to the loudest snore you can imagine. And I said, Dad, you're late. Like, you got to go. And he's like, what time is it? I said, oh, it's like 11:30, 12. He sat up. He goes, whoa. And he laid back down. And so I think he finally left around 2 in the afternoon. He got home about midnight. It was a long drive back to Dallas from Lubbock. It should have taken about 5 hours. As we got older, became a dad myself. I've got 2 little boys, Maddox over here, he's 12, and Jet, who's 2. And one of the things I love is how much Dad loves not just his kids, but his grandkids. And like Chuck said, Dad would do anything for anybody at any time. And one of the ways Dad worked to connect with us and with Maddox and with the boys was he started umpiring Little League Baseball, which was something I was heavily involved with, still am here in Dallas. And there was a couple of times he was super professional in everything that he did. We'd go up to a plate meeting before the game where the coaches would meet, and he would introduce himself to me in front of the other coach. And he'd be like, hi, I'm Mac. And I'm like, yeah, man, I got it. I'm Sean. And I was always worried. I think he umpired 2 of the games that I coached in, and I was always worried, like, what's going to happen when Maddox gets up to bat? And sure enough, it happened. Maddox gets up to bat. It's a 3-2 count. Maddox, I'm sorry to tell you this, but this kid locked you up with a curveball, and the ball was right down the middle. And Dad looked, and he looked at me, and he called ball 4 and let it go. And he should have been out, but that's just not who he was. One more story about him as far as sports. Dad would come and watch Maddox play basketball, and he would sit right in the middle of the basketball court, and he would cheer for both teams. And it used to drive me nuts. I'm sitting here like trying to win, I'm trying to coach to win, and he would cheer for both teams. And we'd get done, and he said, Dad, what are you doing? Like, that, we're trying to beat this team. And he would just tell me, he goes, you never know when one of those kids maybe doesn't have a parent or a grandparent that could be in the game. So if I could just cheer for them and encourage them a little bit, then I'm totally glad to do that. However, he had no problem telling me which kids I should have benched in the 4th quarter as opposed to playing. You know, it's been, and I am that guy, I love numbers, it's been 319 days. Almost made it through. It's been 319 days since Dad passed. And, you know, I can sit here and tell all the stories, but it's been tough. And today's been a reminder of how amazing he is, being able to go back, like I said, in what was going to be a 45-minute speech. It lets you realize how many great memories there truly are, and to know how many people whose lives he touched and how many people that are better people because of him is what allows me to move forward. And the last one I had, I have a little kid, and we have our baseball organization, we have a 9U team. There's a little boy named Warren Hall, and he came up to me just after Dad passed, and he said, Coach, he said, I'm really sorry to hear about Mr. Mack. He was my favorite umpire, and he was my school crossing guard. And so Dad obviously meant a lot to a lot of people, whether it was our family or just people in the community. He was always there to make sure that everybody had a better day than his day. And So again, Dad, happy birthday. We love you, and thank you guys on behalf of the McCrossen family. Thank you guys for all being here. I appreciate it. I think we got one more.
I'm not as eloquent as Sean, like Sean said. I'm Chris, I'm Bob's second son from New Jersey. We reconnected about 6 years ago, which was amazing. I was able to spend time with him and get to know him. Biggest thing I was proud of, I was one of his only son to be in the service as he was. Even though he was a polo jumper, we still got along. And, most important thing to me is that in the 6 years that we got to know each other, he really was good. And he was a great man. So, not much I can say because we're emotionally back right now, but I just want to say thank you guys for coming.
Anybody else want to get up and share memories? Feel free. No pressure. Otherwise, eat, drink.
You want to talk about it first?
Thank you all for being here again. Oh, my brother. Yes, I would like my brother to get up and say.
I was looking at that book. My name is Jim Harrison. Like she said, I'm her brother. Bob Mack is he is my brother-in-law. And I was looking at the book. That's a very nice book. And as I was looking at it, I was thinking it should be called The Many Faces of Bob McCrossen. Just the way his facial hair and everything went, it seemed like, okay, he celebrates himself. And we're here celebrating his life. And we believe that even though death comes, there's never that separation. We're always connected. And so, Bob, I want to tell you, I totally enjoyed your presence. I thank you so much for going to the dinners with us once a month. And I appreciate your love for everybody that you come in contact with. And if you would please, let us pray. Oh Lord, you give us the gift of life. We are to do with it good things. Bob Mack McCrossen did good things. And he lives on, not only in our hearts, but in all the people he met and the kids that he came in contact with and made laugh and made feel like they were important. We thank you so much for giving us Robert Bob Mack McCrossen. Amen.
Amen.
Now, anybody else want to put up? Feel free. No pressure. You don't have to. Help yourself. Food, drink, enjoy.
That was depressing. Actually, no, I played it. Yeah, I played it today at like 3 in the morning. I now check this out. Got this thing for $30. How much it is now? This one went down. This was like up to $40. Now it's back to 34. Same with this thing. This thing was like up to 86. Which one is it? Which one was on that? This is the one I got from NVM. I already have this thing. I'm gonna run the battery out of there.
So, I picked up RC cars again.
I haven't touched my RC car in so long.
Yeah.
So I've been working on real cars.
Really?
Yes, driving. It's fun.
Yeah, no, I have more fun with RC cars than cars.
Where's Amy?
Currently my car is gonna go almost 90 miles per hour. RC car.
You should ram into elderly people.
No, I've almost hit myself with it. I've actually pulled Declan in a wagon with my car.
What?
I pulled Declan in a wagon with my car.
How big is it? Is it like the small one or is it like the big truck?
No, it's like about this one. It's not those. It's not the bigger ones. It's more like the. Yeah, but I put a motor from one of the bigger cars in it though.
So that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah, because normally it would
How
not
many
have.
motors does it have? Does it just have that one motor?
Yeah, it's a two-wheel drive car, so it only has one. I plan on possibly switching to a four-wheel drive car, just moving all the parts over. But I don't know if I want to, because if I do that, then I can run 2 motors in my car.
And you can have what?
If I moved it to a four-wheel drive car, I could run 2 motors if I wanted to. But I don't know if I want to.
You realize when I play this game, I don't spend that much money. I get this stuff by taking stuff I already have and exchanging it for them. I do a bunch of trading with store bots.
Yeah, I don't really. I have like maybe 20 cents in my Steam account, so I don't sell random like cards that I get.
In the corner over there was going like this. So you got that right there.
This is nameless because me and my friend were playing once and I killed him with the Liberty launcher and I just instantly said, I need to get a strange one of these. And then I did, and I named it. And I already got 100 kills on it. This thing is not as good as the stock one, which has 5,000.
Not this is not like a stock one.
No. Like, stock is one of the best things for us. See, look, you get an extra rocket, but it does 25 damage. So the most you can do out of one rocket is 70. Which the other rocket launcher in stock, it does about 100.
Yeah, that's kind of bad.
When you use it right, it works. If you use it on heavy classes, like heavy against a heavy, it won't work as well as stock did. But against light classes, since they're like faster, you possibly would miss more, like a scout. But it does less damage, but it doesn't go on less of a health pool, so they're going to die too. And then there's my secondary shotgun. I forget it doesn't. Make sure this is one. It's a quote from GTA Solo. And then there's my new sniper rifle. This is one thing. This is my Easter gift. 200.
I just got a bunch of papers. But for my birthday, I got $200 in the first cards. Yeah, so my car is like 6-7 pounds. For an RC car? Yeah, it is.
Are you sure? Oh yeah, remember that one time we went to that RC like skate park late at night?
Yeah.
I remember I was really bad at driving because I never got really into it.
Yeah.
I remember my car went over one of them and it just flew and smashed into the building next to it.
Oh yeah. I've gotten a lot better at driving. I actually didn't really mess with any RC cars. Like I didn't know how to work on them. So still listening. How many people do you have open your DMs?
What?
Do you ever post DMs?
No, except for people I need to talk to.
I only have like one or two people.
This is what he sends me randomly.
What do you
This is-
want? Cookie or brownie?
This is also just number one. I do. It just doesn't automatically.
I'll save the brownie.
Sorry.
The cookie or the brownie? Okay, go sit down. Brett.
It just smashes into the window, then brings it.
Yes, sit right there.
This is what I respond. They don't even try. They didn't even try. And then all of this over here is a conversation for a Gary's Mod story that we're going to do together. And then there's this.
Yeah.
This is what we made in Gary's Mod. So here's my character, and then this is Ben. He's on the toilet and he's having a accident. See, he's holding it in his hand.
I didn't know if that was Brett or.
Hey, I found this.
I hate that.
And me and my friend Joseph, we were discussing about how expensive
I
and
know
unusual.
Joseph.
We were talking about how expensive and unusual one of those would be. We said like we total it up to
I
like
could actually make stuff.
$4.6 billion. That's what we totaled it to.
Are you able to upload your own stuff to the market?
Wow, look
I
how
could
young
I could
they
make
are.
one. Like no, I could
That's
actually
Jordan,
make one.
Ryan, and Porter.
I want to show you something.
Can't tell you how good it would be, but I could make one.
I think that's
Yeah, here's Chloe. This is,
Oh, you got a guy?
no, this is
No,
Aunt Joni's.
Lee Emerson.
I've never really seen that.
She was high up.
Well,
She
no,
was high up
Porter
about
was the second in line. Jordan
Just
is
look
the
at the
oldest,
eyes
and
of
then Porter.
Apparently she was
And
mad
then
at me because
Ryan.
after I met her, she hissed at me. It's hard to tell because her eyes are always just
Yeah.
giving me the blank stare. And this is
She's still going.
cute. She's still fat.
I've had her for almost like what, eight years? Yeah. I was there when you got her.
Oh, one of them is going to trip over the cord.
Ow.
It has human ears. That's not a dog.
Well, shove it all in there, buddy. Why are you doing
And then there's this one.
See your face. The first time I've seen you. You're good looking kid, man.
You need to spit it out.
Here's another one.
Just shove the freaking brownie in there. You gotta wipe your mouth. Sit down. Hang on. Water.
I think I have another one of those. Do I? Yeah.
I'm not leaving right now, but shortly.
Shortly.
I put Robert in the car, drop him off on the way home. Oh, he left his car at the house. So.
Oh.
I was going to say you could drop him off
I just
under a
realized you
bridge.
see it in the distance.
I could, but I would miss
I'm sorry, what?
He'd find his way back.
it. He would.
He's got a homie.
I just realized if you go long before it gets on the seat, I'll be waiting for you.
Let's see how they're in the
Yeah,
job.
I've seen that image before.
You look so happy.
The
The
job.
new sushi job.
That's
Yeah.
the one to go where I just dropped it.
Well, I look at it differently. I think they got a white guy working there. With all the Asian conflicts that have now, the people can say, oh, we got a white guy.
Let's see the lines. There it is.
She's sort of watching now.
He said he was gonna.
Even I don't have that much storage. I have like 7-8 terabytes.
My laptop has more storage than my actual desktop. It has a terabyte of space in it.
What does your desktop have? Like 25 megs?
That's baby
it has,
Riley.
like,
Like,
I don't know what it has. I think,
But your desktop's like really old, right?
no, it's new.
Oh, it's newer. Oh! Yeah, your desktop then probably has like 250 to 500 pounds.
It's just I don't like how the laptop doesn't work. And there's this.
I don't want to.
I have an extra hard drive that I can give you if you want it.
No, all I do is play TF2 and do school. So, space.
Yeah, I have about, hold on, how much storage do I have? Like, inside my computer, I have 3 terabytes in it. But like, in total, if I wanted to, I could have 1, 2, 3, 5,
This was a blast of carbonation.
6, 7. Yes, 7 terabytes. I have a 2 terabyte external.
I think that's Scarlet.
That's not as cool as the Ouija board.
Maybe.
I wonder how hard
That's
the-
Sarah, Susie's girl, and Riley. I know that Janice said Susie got her second dose of the vaccine and had a bad reaction.
This cross-sewn neurons travel to the brain to make it, and then they actually had to use energy and materials to create it. I hate that.
Oh, nope.
Hey,
That's all that these are. And then there's Ben compressing his face to like unbelievable measures of time.
I don't think I've ever seen this. I hate how real he looks.
That turned out really well. I need to find. Wait, that's right. Forget that.
Okay. Did you just proceed? Oh, what? I didn't know.
need to go potty?
It does. I'm able to kill things. See, look how much better control I have. We got my planet portals over here. We got the chickens. We got the.
By the way, it's triggered to spam the 4 pictures like this instead of holding down. Yeah, it is.
Let me close this. Let's go see.
If you can get it right, it's a lot quicker. I never got that far.
This is a lot easier to do because it takes less energy.
Yeah, it is. But that's good.
I'm stuck on this because
Why don't you prestige?
it wouldn't be good. I wait till I get the same amount of action.
Really?
Yeah. I have 8 million. And currently, I would get 3 million if I received.
Here, Jet is making jet noises.
That's not a jet.
His name's Jet.
Yeah, I know, but that's
This
not
is a joke. Shush.
What jets have you been on?
My RC car?
It's not a jet. Let's go see what's on the funny side. The cool meme side.
Hold on, can I say my favorite subreddit?
It's probably an anime subreddit. Yes, I am sub to this subreddit. It's funky, but it just doesn't compare.
Beetlejuice is pretty cool too.
It's the next effing level.
That subreddit's really good.
Uncontroversial. I need to find it.
Do you not save posts?
No, I don't.
I save a few. I'll send you a few that I saved when I get home.
I need it to find it. It's probably gone.
Oh yeah, Ian, I got a new phone.
What phone is it? What model?
It's the Samsung Note 10 Plus.
Oh, well, that's cool, but it's not as cool as this next phone.
I'm sorry, say again?
It's not as cool as this next phone. Oh, I need to use the app. Is it still up? It's still up. No, it's been gone. It's been removed. I'm not able to.
That's funny though.
Where is it? Oh yeah, then I found modes and a mode could pick in there.
I'm gonna grab some iced tea.
You had that on.
I am the third oldest cousin. Your side.
But you don't need her. I'm serious. It's a big problem. You'll be dead. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. You guys leaving?
Yeah, we gotta go get checked.
Oh, my kid's already gone.